So it's a really cool spot. We're at 877-70 Bruce. Here's Mitch in New Jersey. Good morning, Mitch.
Hey, good morning, Jim, and good morning, Dave. Always a pleasure. I just happened to get in the car, and I heard Frank on, and I just had to jump and call in because I actually just got my deluxe edition in the mail from Italy 2 days ago. And, there's so many superlatives. I went to the opening at Morrison Gallery, and I think anyone that was there realized, how beautiful the book is. And it's interesting as I'm reading Walter Isaacson's biography right now of Da Vinci and is reading about the Gutenberg Bible and a bunch of different things. And I'd have to put, I know it's going to sound weird.
It's okay. We got the blessing. You're okay.
But you know what, Dave? The blessing is your book. The blessing is Bruce's book. And I'm going to add this book to I guess, here's a Jew near Hanukkah telling you the Holy Trinity. But I would add this right up there. It really is just terrific. It's beautifully put together. Obviously, the recent sessions with Bruce add such a different edge, as well as all the Patti Smith photos. But it truly, I think, would make a wonderful holiday gift for anybody and for any true fan. As I explained this to my wife, who I don't think I've told the full price to, is that this is an heirloom. This is something that I want to keep in the family along with.
I think it's
my, those other books.
Yeah, it's there are certain things you want because, especially if you have a collector bug, but even if you don't, there are certain things you want to have because they're beautiful and because they're important.
Exactly, and they're well produced. This was obviously such a labor of love, and for a wonderful, wonderful man like Frank, who, spent all these years working in the factory world, and he's just salt of the earth. And to be able to produce his life's work in this format and with the quality that these folks in Italy at Wall of Sound put together, it's truly something special, and just
Frank's
right up there.
Story, which has never, to the best of my knowledge, been written in any detail, is a great story, and it's very, very much like, he's a guy who worked 5 days a week. He's a guy who had a job, unlike his subject.
Exactly.
He worked many days in his life, and on the side, he became a fine artist. And that's toning down what I really think. To say a fine artist.
Exactly, and obviously Patti Smith realized it and spread the word so fortunately to Bruce, and that's why we have all of these just epic photos along with all of the wonderful shots that Miola and Clinch have done and others over the years. But it's really it's just a gift. It's a great, just as your book was years ago and as Bruce's book was last year. This is sort of to me, along with the gift of Steve Van Zant's Soulfire this year, just a great item. And
Mitch, thank you for including me in that rarefied company.
Absolutely, Dave, I do. And a funny story, because there's a picture in your book of everyone sitting around looking at the Born to Run covers, and a friend of mine, Dick Wingate, who I'm sure you know, was there at the time, and Dick actually had a couple of the original lithographs of the copy of Darkness. And when I was at Morrison Gallery, was fortunate enough to have Frank sign one of those. And there's the history behind it all is what's so fascinating to me, and any
I think
those are the books that matter.
I think what it was that Bruce was so into detail. I wouldn't say he was obsessive, only because I wouldn't want to risk insulting him, but that Dick, who was like the product manager at Columbia at the time, said, okay, well, let's go to the printing press out on Long Island somewhere, I think. And so I went out there, and that's where those shots are from. I don't know who took them. Is there a photo credit there? There probably is, but
That's a good question. I think there might be, but it's
but I mean, it might, it might have just been who was ever to hand with whatever camera was to hand. It's not like, it's not like something Frank or Danny would do, but, it's really, it's a special group of people that gather themselves around Bruce. I mean, I'm thinking of Tom Zimney right now, who's kind of Tom's the latecomer.
Yeah.
But he is the guy. I mean, Tom opened things up for all of us who are fans.
Yes.
In ways people don't think about often enough, I think. I haven't seen this BBC. Has anybody seen this BBC America show?
I've seen parts of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
I've been hearing some buzz about it.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's really well done.
It's Tom.
Yeah.
Really, really well done. And, as was, by the way, if you haven't gotten to it, Dan Rather's interview with Steven last night, which many people in New York City couldn't see because I think one of the cable companies don't have it, but that was also...
What channel was that?
It was on Access TV, which apparently was taken off of a bunch of cable stations. But I did notice for $2 you could buy it, I think, through them. And it was a great...
When was this interview done?
I think the interview was done a few weeks ago.
Dan Rather? Dan Rather's
Yeah,
working again?
Dan Rather's got a show. Well, Dan Rather's got a show here. He's also got a show, and he's also has this sit-down one-on-one interview on AXS TV, AXS TV. I have Verizon Fios. I have it on Fios, but I don't know about cable companies.
Well, and I'm on satellite, so that's a whole different thing. But
yeah, it's the big. I think the big interview it's called, and I did notice Backstreet's mentioned this morning that for $2 you can buy it. And I don't even think Maureen could see it.
Steve at a discount, I like it.
but a really great interview, and I really captured so much history and so much of the wonderful stuff that's going on.
Well, if you can, if you can get Steve to really get interested in his own story or his story with Bruce, which is a lot of overlap. Steve can tell a story. I'll tell you that.
That he can.
Yes, he can, and I felt it was really, Steve was very honest, and Dan asked really smart questions that a fan would ask, and someone who clearly did his research and has been a fan. So as well as covering The Sopranos and Lilyhammer era as well.
I think one of the most underrated things in Bruce's book, Born to Run, is the scene where he and Steve finally part company when Steve leaves the band. That, to me, that was one of the most moving things in the book. It was one of the more revealing things in the book. I don't know both of them, but everybody feels like they do, and they're not entirely wrong. Because there's no fake in either one of those guys.
No, and
that's probably one of the 2 or 3 saddest things in the book, to me. Even though it all worked out,
he dealt with that in the interview last night.
I'm sure that was part of what you were talking about.
Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely.
But Steve had a real need beyond anything else about what Bruce wanted to do with his band. Steve had a need to go be who he is, and who he is cannot fully be captured on a stage that's dominated by someone else.
Yeah, well, we're all thankful for all these great shows this year and the shows coming up in December.
But I'm thankful for the 3 records that Steve made while he was out of the band, for Sun City above all things, for just a ton of things that for the Darlene Love record, because if Steve doesn't leave the band, he doesn't get his chops together or keep his chops together enough to go out and do all of that stuff, maybe. Or maybe he doesn't keep his head together or whatever. He felt some stress because he was leaving home when he quit the band. He was leaving home. He was leaving his best friend. He was moving out to new territory. It was a very brave thing to do. And you really, Bruce captures all of that and the tension that it created beautifully in the book, I think. But it's also just
very much so.
Just to really, if you really look around at all the one-shot kind of movie themes or whatever, Steve did a lot of work it doesn't ever get talked about. You know,
Right.
nobody talks about. I think that one of the best Christmas songs anybody ever wrote is "All Alone at Christmas."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and not just because Darlene gave it a perfect performance, but because it's just a solid song
It is. That
And-
really is.
and a marvelous
The
production.
album be produced, the album be produced for Darlene. Is, you know, really one of the best albums last year.
You know, but the album he produced for Charlie Sexton, which nobody talks about, the album he produced with that band Charlie had, the the Angels of some kind, I think. You know, there's just a ton of stuff.
It really is, and I'll add one last thing. I think Jim knows what a mensch, I have to tell you, Stephen is, but out of nowhere, he asked my mom to introduce the show that he did in Staten Island a few months ago, and my mom's 90 and has always been a fan of Stephen and Bruce, and you know, she stood up there in front of 2,500 people and got to introduce the band before they went on and read off the teleprompter, and Steve rehearsed with her, and this didn't come from me, it just came from Stephen and Maureen reaching out to ask if she would do it, and that's just the kind of stuff that may not get all the press, but just that's why each and every one of these folks in the band are just really wonderful people, and anyway, I'll go on forever.
Well,
but I
thank you for sharing that story, because I don't think anybody else.
Yeah,
probably
I
knew
saw
your
the photos.
guess
Is there a video of it, Mitch? Did you get it up on your?
The video's up on my Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube page, and what I'll do is I'll link to you, Jim, later on the video, so if anyone wants to see it, it's really sweet.
Okay.
That's great.
All right, Mitch. Good to hear from you. Thanks for calling in.
Have a great holiday.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
All right.
Have a great holiday.
Take care. All right, we're at 8:07.